Welcome to the Land Doctor's latest listing, Pecan Valley Ranch. Pecan Valley Ranch is a 538-acre property located just west of Henrietta in Okfuskee County in an easy 1 hour and 15-minute drive from either Oklahoma City or Tulsa. Offering both productive pasture and a dense growth of pecan trees along Montezuma Creek, this ranch can support healthy herds of both livestock and wildlife. But before we get to that, we need to go back in time to when the current owner purchased the property. 8 years ago, when we first laid eyes on this ranch, it was in pretty rough shape. It had been leased out for years, and not surprisingly, very little maintenance had been done. Overstocked, overgrown, and run down, one wonders what the current owner saw on the property. Simply put, it was the fertile soil. Even though it didn't look like it, the ranch had fantastic soil and just needed a chance to shine. Most of the ranches that we look at don't have any Class 1 soils. Amazingly, 44% of Pecan Valley Ranch features Class 1 soil. If you factor in both Class 1 and Class 2 soils, the total increases to a whopping 70% of the ranch that has these fertile soil types. This is evidenced by the natural vegetation that we saw on the property. Most neglected ranches grow up in cedar and elm trees. This one grew up in a thick growth of pecan. Everywhere we looked, we saw pecan trees that ranged from massive old growth to saplings. That's when the decision was made to purchase Pecan Valley Ranch. The next decision was to break from conventional management practices and pursue a regenerative farming approach. The ranch was rested the first spring, and an amazing growth of clover blanketed the previously barren pastures. The next step was to clean out the pond to create a water source, install a storage tank, and a gravity flow water system to provide water to each one of the paddocks created in the front pasture. Next, it was time to bring in multiple species and rotate them through the paddocks to restore the land. This was possible because of the new fencing that was constructed, capable of holding any livestock desired, including the most renowned escape artist of the farm, goats. Domestic pigs were also stocked beneath the pecan trees to clean up the huge quantity of pecans lying on the ground. In the process, they also cleared the briars, and as soon as they were rotated into other paddocks, a strong growth of cool season grasses emerged. Other paddocks were stocked with sheep and goats to reduce the dense growth of weeds. These two species essentially act as a herbicide in the form of an animal, given the fact that they consume plants that are normally considered a nuisance and require chemicals to control. Chickens were also rotated through the paddocks to boost soil nutrients. All these steps culminated in the creation of lush pastures that were then stocked with cattle. Today, all the livestock have been removed and the ranch has been rested again. The pastures are full of white, arrowleaf, and yellow clover, in addition to hairy vetch, ryegrass, and Bermuda. The interior paddock fencing needs some repair, but the water system and exterior fences are still in great shape. The ranch also has a good set of well-built holding and working pens for cattle, in addition to a small barn equipped with stalls and working facilities for goats and sheep. Other improvements made on the property include the addition of 2 mobile homes with a connecting deck and a shop building at the new headquarters area. Also, a 3rd mobile home was just added north of the headquarters for the farm manager. A storage container, mobile chicken houses, and various sheds round out the list of improvements here. This property has a history of producing some very impressive trophy whitetails, and the ponds have been stocked and managed for some excellent fishing. In total, there are 4 main ponds on the property that range in size from 1 acre to 1.5 acres. In addition, there are numerous small ponds scattered throughout the pastures, and more importantly, 2 miles of Montezuma Creek twists through the ranch and serves as a source of the fertile soils deposited in its floodplain. There's a dead section line road at the south end of the ranch that has an interesting old concrete and rock bridge that's used to cross the creek. The west side of the creek features hay meadows and transitional areas, where meadows fade into the ideal wildlife habitat mixture of pecans, oaks, and honeysuckle. If you've ever dreamed of trying your hand at regenerative farming and multi-species husbandry, then Pecan Valley Ranch would be a great place for you to expand on a solid foundation of fertile soils and existing improvements to take them to the next level under your stewardship. For more information or to schedule a showing, contact Steve Owen at area code 580-231-2386, drop him a line at steve@landdoctors.com, or check out the website at landdoctors.com. The Land Doctors, selling beautiful land and creating custom ranches.